Hey everybody, welcome back into another exciting episode of the Brian Boyer Show. I'm Mickey Ryan, and that's Brian Boyer right there. Coach, what do you say about a season where you've had these long gaps in home games? You take your team to Mexico for Thanksgiving, you play all these tough teams, then you finally come back, you get started in your conference play, but you've got to go on the road to do that. Then you come home and play a couple games, and when it's all said and done, as an outsider, not as the coach, I really like how things are going so far. I'm just curious to get your take on your show.
Well, I'm obviously very pleased with the way we're playing. Again, non-conference, we certainly challenged ourselves. I thought we competed through that, got our share of wins and throughout that. And, 4-0 in conference, couldn't ask for anything better.
4-0 start, the best since 06-07. When you're scheduling things out and sort of projecting things in your mind, do you kind of give yourself that liberty of saying, I bet we could go undefeated this deep into the conference schedule. I bet we could go this deep. Or do you sort of look at things and go, hey, if we're 3-1 here, hey, if we're 2-2 here, did you have some preconceived notions maybe of how you thought you'd be at this time?
Well, you always want to be and hope to be at the undefeated at this point. But I think as a coach and as we always talk with the players, your goal is always you got to win the home games and then you take your share of the road games. And the fact that we were able to start 2-0 on the road was obviously a good thing and very pleasing to me. But when you get back home, these are the ones you feel like you need to win, you should win, and so far we've been able to do that.
I had a coach tell me once, he said he thought his team focused better on the road. He said he liked their attitude better because it was them against the world. But most coaches, I think, they like to sleep in your own bed, eat your own food, be around your own people and your family. Do you have thoughts on that either?
Well, I think it absolutely. I think it depends from team to team. I think I've had teams before that there's no doubt they were more comfortable at home. I have had teams that were more comfortable on the road. They like the challenge of the road. There are less distractions on the road. And, so far I haven't quite figured this team out. I do know this. We've been pretty good on the road. They do like the challenge of being on the road.
Been pretty good at home, too. A 4-0 start in Sun Belt play. When we come back, we'll get you involved in last week's games. And coming up, we got highlights, player profile, all that and more here on the Brian Boyer Show.
Hey, good luck on the big date.
Centennial Bank, conveniently open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 1 to 4 p.m. Sunday at the mall at Turtle Creek, Arkansas's community bank.
A lot of universities define themselves by where they have been. At Arkansas State, we want to show you where we're going. Our students are the most academically prepared in our history, and our faculty are conducting groundbreaking research. We're investing in education at home and around the world through the first ever American-style campus in Mexico, and we're working on the first osteopathic medical school in the state. Educating leaders, enhancing intellectual growth, and enriching lives. At Arkansas State, that is how we will be known.
Check it out, everybody. Our kids are out of their rooms.
We actually see their faces.
Oh my God, he's taller than I remember because we've got the KFC favorites bucket.
Everybody get what they want.
We love this new extra crispy boneless.
Now, they still don't talk to us. If somebody's battery runs out, then, maybe we can actually carry on a conversation.
10 pieces, any recipe, $12.99. And you know what I want? All of us being together.
Aw.
Oh.
They don't care, but I
No.
care. Aw.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Another big week for the Red Wolf women. And Coach, again, you go on the road, you get a couple of wins, you come back home. It's important to really hold serve here. And as usual, I got to hand it to your ladies. They make them interesting, don't they? Do you ever just want to say, just come out, blow them out, let me just kind of rest on the bench for a game? There's never a lack of excitement.
I say that all the time. No, it has been interesting. We've had this knack of finding ourselves down in numerous wins, and but so far we've found our way to dig ourselves out of that. And I keep telling our team though, it's dangerous. You don't want to keep doing that. But the fact that we do have another gear, the fight when we get down has been a good thing. And it was good to get back home. I know you mentioned the road and home in our earlier segment, and I think while we played decently against Troy, I think we had some anxiety about being at home. We had 24 turnovers in that game, which is very uncharacteristic of our team. And a lot of it that had to do with Troy. They got us caught up in their style. But I actually think a lot of it had to do with being home for the first time in a long time. And I thought our players were very anxious and, maybe tried to get a little bit out of control at times.
I think people look at college athletes and they look at just the high level that they perform. And, they're tall and they're athletic and they're all those things that so many people want to be. But they need to realize these are young people. They love playing in front of the home fans, but they want to please the home fans. They want people who paid their hard-earned money to enjoy the game. So they put a lot of pressure on themselves.
No, there's no question. And we talked about that going into this game. One of the things that you had to caution yourself is that when you finally get back home, it's not time to relax. And you and I talked on the last week on the last show. You're not just granted a win because you're at home. You still have to do it. And Troy played great, and we found ourselves down, and I think at that point, the little bit of the anxiety, so to say, we started pressing a little bit. We got out of ourselves a little bit, trying to do things we're not capable, and that's where things, and then it snowballs. But again, the good thing for this group is they have the knack of getting things under control, and when we did, we were pretty good.
So you trail in the second half, but you beat Troy. South Alabama then comes in for a Saturday game, and that one got interesting for a little while as well, although the end result, double-digit win, looked really good.
Well, it ended up, in a lot of ways, being very similar in that, we get ourselves down, double figures the first half. We cut it to 5 at halftime and give up a 3 to start the second half. So, again, we start basically the second half down 8. And, again, really responded, and man, did we respond. First half, South Alabama, or the whole game, but the first half especially, they really packed things in very tightly, really in their man, really, and we couldn't get to the basket. I mean, it took all of our penetration away, and we just didn't do a very good job of getting the ball inside, and that was the biggest emphasis at halftime. We had to get the ball inside, and we did in grand fashion. Jasmine Hunt had a great game. Jane went to work in the second half. Jalen, once we started establishing the inside, we were fine.
People are going to see in the South Al highlights, especially a young lady, Jasmine Hunt, playing her career game. And, you told me, gosh, you think I teach these young ladies everything they can, but you didn't teach her how to do a curtain call. She didn't know how to get her curtain call after a great game.
Those are funny things in coaching. I mean, she has such a great game, and I sub her out at the end and try to hold her out on the court a little bit and the thing of it is the only reason you're able to do that because our fans get it. That's, as a coach, I can tell. I mean, every time in the second half Jazz scored, our fans, they got it. They understood something was special happening there with Jazz, and they were ready to give her a little bit of a curtain call, and so we'll have to work on that with her, and hopefully she'll continue to play that way, or it won't be necessary moving on.
It's interesting how a crowd, your core fans, they always know. They know a kid is having a career game. A young lady is doing things she's never done. But even just the casual fans, you can feel the electricity in an arena when something special is happening, like how Jasmine was just scoring and doing such a great job.
Well, it's players like Jasmine that your fans they cheer for them, they pull for them because Jazz has been a big part of this program for the last 2 years, and she competes every day, and she's accepted that role, of playing behind Jane, throughout her career. And then when you see her do something like that, I mean, it lifted our team and certainly lifted our fans as well.
Well, 2 great games, a win over Troy, a win over South Alabama. We've talked about it. When we come back, we'll show them to you here on the Brian Boyer Show.
The Big Easy is the place to be as Sunbelt teams look to punch their ticket to the big dance. 16 teams will go head-to-head in New Orleans. Fighting for a chance of March Madness glory. The Sunbelt Men's and Women's Basketball Championship, March 12th through the 16th at Lakefront Arena. Contact your school's ticket office today.
A lot of universities define themselves by where they have been. At Arkansas State, we want to show you where we're going. Our students are the most academically prepared in our history, and our faculty are conducting groundbreaking research. We're investing in education at home and around the world through the first ever American-style campus in Mexico, and we're working on the first osteopathic medical school in the state. Educating leaders, enhancing intellectual growth, and enriching lives. At Arkansas State, that is how we will be known.
Hey everybody, welcome back again to the Brian Boyer Show. An Arkansas State team 2-0 in conference with 2 road wins. You come home, you've got a big game to start a homestand against Troy, and boy, did they come out playing well.
Well, they did, and we knew coming into this, they're the highest scoring team in the league. You know, we scored a pretty good, clip at 70 a game. They come in scoring 82 a game. So obviously the biggest key was going to be defense, and especially transition defense. And I thought we did a great job of that, probably better than expected. The problem was, what I didn't expect is the number of turnovers we had, and we had too many of those. And obviously that almost came back to haunt us.
Well, here's how it all went down.
Well, this is early on, and we came out early, and of course Jane hits a big shot there, and getting inside to Jalen, real good move there, and we were able to score. We were just a little bit of a feast or famine. Good attack there by Dreas. We scored fine. We just had too many turnovers where we didn't have an opportunity to give ourselves an opportunity to score.
You've mentioned the turnovers in a couple of segments. That's uncharacteristic of your crew. They don't give the ball away to other people. That's how they win close games.
Well, it hasn't been. We have a goal every time we step in the court, keep it at 15 or less, which, if you're able to do that in women's basketball, you're going to be successful. And again, we got up to 24 in this one, which is too many. But again, that's not normal. We usually do a good job. But again, Troy tries to get into that game. They, a lot of run and trapping and zone and different things. And so they had a lot to do with this. But, again, we shot the ball decently. Good shot there by Hannah in transition. And, good attack here by Jess Flannery coming off her big game at Texas State. Knocks down the jump shot there.
One of the things that I love about watching this team, Andrea Gamble, her ability to drive. Jalen has got that ability to take the ball, dribble, drive, penetrate. Bigs can't keep up with her. We've talked about her guard skills she likes to brag about.
Well, it's a big deal, and a lot of teams are trying to take her out of that because they're zoning and taking away her penetration. But Jalen had a career night rebounding. It's 17 rebounds, and a lot of those in the second half. And I actually thought her rebounding was one of the keys to this game in that second half. I thought it gave us a huge lift. Just how aggressive she was on the boards.
For young people who are watching this game, we don't show free throws typically on highlights. You guys shot 79% of free throws. You hit 11 of 14 in the second half. I cannot stress how key it is that these Red Wolves hit their free throws.
Well, we do that, and especially late in the game. You've got a player like Hannah Cadan, who's currently leading the league in free throw shooting. I believe top 20 nationally. And Dre is going to make them. Jane's going to make them, and it's something that generally can depend on with this group. So. And you see here's this is Hannah again knocking down a shot. Once we got our turnovers under control in that second half, things started to happen. Our defense, as we talked about earlier, was pretty good. There's Hannah getting a steal and getting out in transition. I thought the combination of Brittany Gill and Jamie Ruffins, their pressure on their point guard was real key in this game too, of keeping their transition under control. And then again, good pass there, Jalen into Jane, getting a layup inside, being able to, as always, depending on Jane.
You had mentioned after the game the key of Brittany and Jamie, how their defense really set the tone. And we talk about 4 double-digit scores, career high in rebounds for Jalen. But there's a whole lot that goes into winning a game, and defense, especially the way you've coached over the years, is always a big part of it.
Well, and especially in this game here, where again Troy's transition, and you know, going into this game, we had shown the player probably 15 to 20 highlights of games of theirs where they, after made baskets, they had come down and taken a shot with 5 seconds or less gone off the shot clock after made baskets. That's how fast their transition was, and we gave Jamie and Brittany the freedom just to go ahead and pick up their point guard after every make and slow them down. I thought they did a great job of it. I hate to think with the turnovers we had, and you know, if we would allowed them to have one of their typical games in transition, probably would not have came out in the win column in this game.
South Alabama up next.
Well, and some similarities in this game, and that not necessarily in the tempo, and that South Alabama didn't play necessarily as fast as Troy, but very similar in the fact that they rely very heavily on the three-point shot. They basically played 4 guards at all times. They just try to attack you and kick for threes. And you know, again, our team did a pretty good job. We cut our turnovers down. We only had 12 in this game, so you know, did a much better job of this. And again, there's Hannah had a couple steals early. Really anticipated well, getting out and getting some steals and getting some easy baskets in transition. And here's a 3 in transition. Great decision and pass by Gamble.
Hannah with 18 points in this game. And I've noticed, you know, at times she's such a great outside shooter. That seems to be where she's content getting her points. But I don't see that this year. She's healthy. She's feeling better. She's attacking the basket more.
But she's she's very good at attacking, and you know, which makes her 3 that much better, because you still have to respect her off the dribble. But there's Jasmine Hunt there knocking that down in, obviously the player of the game. And you know, this first half we were really struggling to score. While there's a good attack by Hannah, we were really struggling to get the ball, get scores off penetration, and we needed some inside scoring. And in the first half, we only had 8 points out of our post players, and all 8 of them came from right here in Jasmine Hunt. So Jane was in foul trouble. Jalen got in foul trouble, which was a big part of this game. But certainly having Jasmine step up like she did in that first half was huge for us.
Ultimately, you'd finish, though, with 38 points in the paint versus 18 for South Alabama. And that 17 for Jasmine that we've talked about so much was just clutch.
Well, and I think there's in the second half here, Jalen getting in on the boards, getting a layup. Of those 38, I want to think 28 or so was in the second half. So we did a much better job. There's Brittany Gill getting loose on the baseline, getting a layup there. Jane Morrell, that's a big shot there, kind of getting her going. She spent the most of the first half in foul trouble. And even here, you know, while Jane doesn't score, we still get it inside and collapse the defense where she's able to kick it out to Hannah for 3. So again, just establishing that inside with those post players was such a key in this victory.
Now, you had Jalen shooting a 3. Is that something you advise her to do a lot?
Well, you know, she's shooting it pretty well, and you know, she's worked on it in the off season. And now again, she's not, you know, with her it's pretty simple. You got one spot to shoot it from, and it's directly to the top of the key. You know,
right.
And you know, she's shot it decently, and you know, which again she needs to, because she penetrates so well that you know, people are just you know, they're not guarding her on the perimeter.
In the fashion that we've seen with this team so far, great second half effort. You shoot 52% in the second half. South Al only shoots 29%.
You know, and again, that was you know, one area we have struggled this year. Is our defensive field goal percentage, and you know, we're currently actually coming into this week, we were 10th in the league in that, and it's something we've got to improve. And we did improve it in this game in South Alabama, especially because of the second half. We were so much better defensively, as you said, holding them to less than 30% from the field.
You one of those guys that likes to put a number up on the board before the game and say, if we can hold them to this, I think we'll win, kind of thing?
Not necessarily, because I don't think players really can focus on numbers when they're playing. You know, they just got to go play. But
yeah.
But there will be times throughout the, you know, in timeouts, media timeouts, where we'll point at, you know, hey, we're on track, or you know, we you know, they're above what our goals were, you know, those type of things. So I love this play. This may be my play of the year so far. Of what a great hustle play by Hannah, you know, diving into the seats there, tipping it to Brittany Gill for the layup. Love that play. That'll be one of those plays that'll definitely be on our highlight film at the end of the year. Great hustle play for a basket late in the game.
So 73-60, the final over South Alabama. One of the players a lot of A-State fans want to get to know more and more about, Andrea Gamble. We've got a profile on her coming up right here on the Brian Boyer Show.
Hey, good luck on the big date.
Centennial Bank, conveniently open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 1 to 4 p.m. Sunday at the mall at Turtle Creek, Arkansas's community bank.
The Big Easy is the place to be as Sunbelt teams look to punch their ticket to the big dance. 16 teams will go head-to-head in New Orleans. Fighting for a chance of March Madness glory. The Sunbelt Men's and Women's Basketball Championship, March 12th through the 16th at Lakefront Arena. Contact your school's ticket office today.
I know Red Wolf fans, you've enjoyed watching Andrea Gamble, getting to know her on the court. But, Coach, I think we've all enjoyed getting to know this young lady off the court as well. Just seems like a fantastic young person to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question, and you know, we've had the good fortune of being around her for a year now. You know, she was here last year due to the transfer rules, was not eligible to play, but was eligible to practice. So had her every day on practice, and you know, the thing I always say about Dre is, you know, she's just got it together. You know, she's not only very talented, but she's a extremely hard worker. She knows right from wrong. She's a competitor in the classroom, on the court, and you know, she's got it together. There's no doubt.
Certainly been a great addition to this team and this program. Here's some more about Andrea Gamble.
Crossover by Gamble, pulls up inside the paint, banks it off the glass and good. 27 for Gamble.
Redshirt sophomore Andrea Gamble has already proven to be a scoring machine for the Lady Red Wolves this season. Going into conference play, Gamble is averaging over 23 points per game, but she sees her team role as more than just a scorer.
Well, as a point guard, you have to get everybody in line, so I guess that's my role. I think my strengths are going to the basket and getting tips on defense, deflections and stuff like that, and making the extra pass. We have a tendency of like not moving with the ball as much, and I think in the conference we'll do a much better job on defense this year.
Gamble says the Division I game's tempo has been the major adjustment coming out of junior college.
The biggest transition would be how fast-paced it is. In JUCO, it's not really that fast-paced. You get to do whatever you want, basically, but here it's more structured and more fast-paced, I think.
Gamble says Coach Boyer has a rather varied taste in music.
Well, we'll be like coming to practice or something, and next thing you know, we'll hear Coach Boyer pulling up, like hearing some like Tupac or something, you know, it's just like, what?
Gamble into the paint, took a bump, shot, crawled over the front iron and good anyway.
I mean, I like going to hoop, so that's just what I do, all day, every day.
For the Brian Boyer Show, I'm Alex Nelson.
Great segment. And, Coach, it seems like whether you come from high school, you come from junior college, that transition, that's always interesting to see how people react to that.
Yeah, it is, and that's where I think the benefit of Drea, you know, being here a year to practice is allowed her transitions to be so much easier. And you know, one of the things we always I always say about Dre and the kind of person she is, you know, she went to junior college her first year, Kilgore Junior College in Texas, and you know, and really, you know, actually had her way, you know, so to say, was really good. And you know, part of her motivation for leaving was the fact of, you know, I remember her telling me she just didn't feel like she was bettering herself, being challenged. And that takes, it's a pretty sharp person to realize that, you know, not only in the classroom or on the court, but also academically, she just felt like it was time for her to move on, be challenged, and she was willing to sacrifice possibly that 1 year of sitting out in order to do that.
Well, it certainly turned out great so far. When we come back, we'll preview upcoming Red Wolves games. Stick around for more Brian Boyer Show.
The Big Easy is the place to be as Sun Belt teams look to punch their ticket to the big dance. 16 teams will go head-to-head in New Orleans. Fighting for a chance of March Madness glory. The Sun Belt Men's and Women's Basketball Championship, March 12th through the 16th at Lakefront Arena. Contact your school's ticket office today.
Check it out, everybody. Our kids are out of their rooms.
We actually see their faces.
Oh my God, he's taller than I remember because we've got the KFC favorites bucket.
Everybody get what they want.
We love this new extra crispy boneless.
Now, they still don't talk to us. If somebody's battery runs out, then, maybe we can actually carry on a conversation.
10 pieces, any recipe, $12.99. And you know what I want? All of us being together.
Aw. They don't care, but I care.
A lot of universities define themselves by where they have been. At Arkansas State, we want to show you where we're going. Our students are the most academically prepared in our history, and our faculty are conducting groundbreaking research. We're investing in education at home and around the world through the first ever American-style campus in Mexico, and we're working on the first osteopathic medical school in the state. Educating leaders, enhancing intellectual growth, and enriching lives. At Arkansas State, that is how we will be known.
One more segment before we wrap it up here on the Brian Boyer Show. Coach, this is where we talk about who's coming up next. You got Georgia State, you've got Western Kentucky, a newcomer to the conference and really a stalwart, longtime stalwart in the conference in Western.
No question, and we get the Georgia State game at Tuesday night, third straight of these home games before we go back on the road again. And a team as I've watched, they're very athletic. Watched on film the other day, they in the first half alone of their last game, they played 14 different players and had 7 different defenses.
Wow,
there's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. So really going to challenge our team from that standpoint. And then, as you said, you look forward to then heading to Western Kentucky at the end of the week, a long-time conference competitor. Been a lot of great women's basketball games between these two programs over the years.
And it really illustrates the changing face of the Sun Belt Conference, how you have those who are coming and those who are going, but the quality of the sports continues to stay up at a high level.
Yeah, there's, we saw that the week before last going into the UT Arlington, Texas State, and the abilities of those teams and the facilities and their campuses and what they're going to bring to the Sun Belt. And, we'll get to face Georgia State again tomorrow night. So, and then again, as you said, I mean, personally hate to see Western Kentucky leave. It's been a lot of great games you mentioned before we went on the air. Back to the Paul Sandiford days. I mean, Final Four years at Western Kentucky. So, women's basketball, you hate to see a team like Western Kentucky leave, and it's going to be a real challenge for us at the end of this week.
Well, been a great season so far, Coach. Continue good luck, and we'll see you again on the next Brian Boyer Show.